forget to rate this book at the end of the video, so just a quick rating. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. Hope you enjoy the video. Hello everyone, UK Goosebumps here, back with another video, and today is going to be my first ever review for this series that I've ever done. I have read books like this before, but I haven't really completed them, and this is going to be my first ever Give Yourself Goosebumps book review. I'm going to do Twisted Tale of Tiki Island for today. I recently finished all 21 endings for this about a day ago. It took me about 3 days to complete it, and I used a method. I'm actually going to do a video on this best ways to complete GYG books. I was struggling at the beginning to find all the endings, but I used this method here, which BD Horror told me about, and a few others, so thank you very much. And I managed to find all endings, which are listed down there, but I'll do a whole separate video on that. Yeah, but I found all 21 endings, technically 22, because one of them does say the end, which I think adds up to 22, they say that on the wiki. But yeah. And it's going to be difficult to review this, because technically there's 21 different storylines you can go down. So it is quite difficult to review something like that. But basically, generally what happens, at the beginning there's a choice. You can either go into a cave in the ocean, or you can decide to go get a spearhead at the bottom of the ocean and go back to the surface. It depends which option you choose. The spearhead option leads you onto land, and you go and see different people. You go and see a guy called Huatu, I think his name is, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And then you go up a volcano, you can follow different characters. And then if you go in the cave, you deal with pirates and skeletons and stuff like that, and like ghost ships and stuff and treasure. But yeah, one is land, one's underwater and underground and stuff. I liked both storylines, but I gotta say there was one part of this book I don't like the most. Is probably going to be in the spear storyline of side of things. There's this character called Dr. Oates, and I feel like the end, there were like, I think there was 4 endings for Dr. Oates, and I just didn't like any of them. He's like a scientist at an archaeological site, but I didn't like any of those endings. They just felt really boring. And I didn't like the character Dr. Oates. He didn't really play an important part. He didn't seem like much of a villain. The villains didn't like really seem too big of a deal at all. I just didn't like that part of the story on that certain bit. The endings just seemed like it wasn't really worth it. And that's the thing with some of the parts in this GYG. The amount of effort you have to put in, the amount of like things you have to choose to get to an ending, it just sometimes doesn't feel like it's worth the ending, and that the ending isn't valid. So I can't imagine what it's like for like special edition GYGs that only have one ending, some of them, and then you go through all of them, and then it comes to this one good ending, and then it turns out it's not actually that good, and it's just like, not that, it's very boring. I had a few problems with that, but most of the endings were pretty solid. And one of the main things I liked about this was how the characters, their deaths, when you had bad endings, their deaths were brutal. I mean, one of them was them getting a landslide coming. No, it was a volcanic eruption, and the lava goes over them, and it describes how like the molten rock went into your mouth and you can't breathe. And I was like, jeez. And another one, he got eaten alive by a lizard, and he was like slowly being disintegrated by the stomach acid. So pretty brutal for a Goosebumps book. Some of the way they describe the deaths. But other than the few like major setbacks with just pointless endings and pointless characters, I did enjoy the book. It's an interesting one. I do like the fact that you can explore different parts of the island and stuff. The gameplay aspect is really good. The cave side of the story is a bit limiting, because you can only really stay inside there. The spear side of stuff, you can go to different parts. And another thing is, it does kind of get boring if you continuously read the same bit over and over again. That's why I typically only read about 5 or 6 endings per day, because it can be a bit boring just trying to find all of them. But yeah, as my first proper GYG read, this was really fun. I enjoyed the gameplay, I enjoyed some of the villains, and I enjoyed especially, I'll try and find it now, this part here. There was an interactive bit with a maze. I really liked that. Yeah, but it's a really fun interactive book. I'm definitely going to read more of these. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and yeah, thank you for watching.